prostate cancer. It is a horrible disease and it's survivable and avoidable. What I went through was sheer hell. I end up having my prostate removed, therefore I can no longer reproduce. And in a way, it's led me to be who I am now. I'm not saying that will happen to everyone that goes through it. It's just my personal choice, and I love who I am. Something I've always been, but anyway, I guess it is sort of made me feel like this is what I want to do. But you guys don't have to go through what I've gone through in the change of life that I have gone through. But I would like to help at least one male out there survive or not go through what I have gone through and what you can do to avoid it. So if you're interested, keep watching and let's get into it. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Smash them likes and hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, subscribe. If not, welcome back. Let's get into it. Right, well, it all starts back, probably 13, 14 years ago. I was at home and had a sharp pain up my spine, which incidentally, it was totally unrelated. But this pain kind of lasted longer than any normal pain and just wouldn't go away. So anyway, I thought, well, that doesn't feel good. So I took myself down to the doctors and basically got a blood test to find out what that was. And it turned out it was nothing. It was nothing more than a muscle spasm. And it just lasted probably longer than any other muscle spasm would. But the doctor said, that's the good news. He said, but I have got some bad news too, because he first told me, like, I've got some good news and some bad news. So I went, okay, well, that's the good news out of the way. What's the bad news? He said, well, I think you might have prostate cancer. And I went, what? He said, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because this is something that you can't sort of dance around. And the earlier you can get to something like this in an actual diagnosis from a oncologist, the better. Oncologist being the prostate cancer specialist. So I went, okay. I said, well, what's the first thing we need to do? He said, well, I need to take another further blood test. No, I tell a lie. He said, your blood tests that came back from when you were complaining of a muscle spasm came back with alarming readings in regards to prostate cancer. So I said, oh, okay, well, I have no idea what that's about. I haven't got a clue. So can you please explain a bit more? And he said, yep, no worries. So, which he was going to anyway, but, you know, like I'm sort of like, oh my God, you know, you just don't think these things are going to happen to you, but they do. We're human beings. Anyway, he said, your readings for for prostate cancer in your blood should be coming back between 2 and 4. I said, okay, well, I'm still, yeah, so what? He said, well, that's your normal readings for that kind of part of your body, that everything is normal. I said, okay. He said, but there's been a red flag raised. Your first reading has come back 10.9, which says there's something wrong with your prostate. I went, oh, great. I said, what do we need to do now? He said, well, I have to send you to an oncologist. I said, well, what does that involve? And we'll get into that shortly, but I just want to let you guys know that I was diagnosed at the age of 41. There is a myth out there that guys shouldn't get tested until they reach 50, which is a load of crap. Don't believe that. That's old school thinking from, I don't know, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and that's what they used to think. But that's not true, because basically when I went and had my surgery, there was a young guy in the next room from me from America that he had prostate cancer. He was age 37, which is pretty scary. So, but I'm just saying the best way to avoid going through what I had to go through, just get a blood test, and that's all it is. You don't have to worry about them going up your backside or anything like that. Like everybody seems to think, and they get so worried about it, and they go, "Oh my God, they've got to stick fingers up my ass and all that." No, that is not true. That is a secondary test, which, yes, it does happen. But if your blood test comes back normal between 2 and 4 or whatever the low reading is, you don't have to worry about any doctors sticking their finger up your backside. So for God's sake, get that thought out of your head and go and get tested. And just have a blood test. If it comes back a little bit high, maybe there are drugs out there that can avoid getting it higher and can lower it down and control it that way. And you don't have to go through what I went through. Unfortunately, when I was diagnosed at age 41, I was diagnosed with stage 2 prostate cancer, and the highest stage is stage 4. And believe me, I was pretty shocked because I had 0 symptoms, and there was nothing wrong with my urine, nothing wrong with going to the toilet. I didn't have irregular toilet visits or anything like that. And even when the oncologist tested me, he said that my prostate was normal sized. It wasn't enlarged or anything like that. But in saying that, the oncologist did have to take 10 clippings from my prostate, which, yes, they did have to go at my backside. I'm such a horny bastard, I didn't care anyway, you know. Kind of enjoyed it in a sick kind of way. But that's just me. But yeah, what did I say, 10 clippings, and long story short story long, no, whatever, anyway, long story short, 6 out of 10 clippings came back positive for prostate cancer. And I'm going, oh shit, great. I said, well, what are my options? And I'm cutting this story down as short as possible. And by the way, when they do go up your backside, it doesn't hurt. You know, it's only going to hurt if you clench and get all worried about it. Just relax. It's not painful at all. Plus, they deaden off that area anyway before they go up your backside, so you really don't feel a thing. The worst thing you're going to feel is a little bit of pressure. Big deal. What's a little bit of pressure to save your life? But anyway, yeah, so the doctor said to me, well, you got 3 options. Okay, and I said, well, what are those options? He said, well, prostate cancer is a slow-growing cancer, but it is aggressive at the same time. I said, right. So I still got no idea what you're talking about. But anyway, so he says to me, option 1, do nothing and you'll be dead in 10 years or less. You know, maybe give or take a year. I went, well, yeah, that doesn't sound very much of an option. I mean, I was 41 years of age. I didn't want to die at 51. By the way, I turned 55 in November in 2019. I was going to say 19, as in 2019. But yes, this year I turned 56. So I'm a survivor. I should have been dead, 5 years ago? Whatever, but I'm a survivor. And I'm here to tell a story. So anyway, I said, well, that's not an option. I mean, if I was 80 years old and got told that, I probably wouldn't be worried. But I was 41, so I want to live to at least 80 if possible. By doing nothing, that would never have happened. Option 2, chemotherapy. I went, okay, what does that involve? He said, well, you know, chemotherapy treatments, drugs that go through your system, your hair falls out, all that kind of shit. I went, yeah, right. He said, there's no guarantees that it will get rid of your cancer. He said it will reduce it down, but there's no guarantees of getting rid of all of it. And he said, plus, it'll cook everything around the prostate and all your bits downstairs. And chances are that all your bits downstairs will never work again anyway. I went, okay. I said, yeah, well, this is all about saving your life, you know. So you're kind of thinking, well, I don't know, like, could I go through that and survive? It'd be better than dying. I said, well, what's option 3? Because he said 3 options. So I said, okay, well, that's another thing. So far, I'm not real happy with those 2 options. And I think he was saving the best till last. Well, if you call it that. I'm still alive, so hey, it's got to be. Option 3, was radical prostatectomy. I said, what the hell's that? He said, well, you'll have to have your prostate removed. He said, because that's where the cancer is at this stage. I went, right, okay. Well, I said, well, what does that involve? What are the side effects? What are the downsides to all of that? And what are the upsides? He said, well, the upside is you're going to live. I went, well, yeah, that's pretty good. You know, that's sort of music to my ears. He said, but he said, you'll never be able to reproduce again. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, you'll never be able to blow. Meaning I can't come at all. Okay. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but that's what it means. Because, hey, the prostate is what does all that. So you need to look after that prostate and don't just take it for granted. So, I mean, when you see, and we all know you guys do it, watch porn and you see some guy blowing his load all over some chick, well, hey, you know, you want to probably fantasize about doing that too. Well, you know, look after that prostate and you just might. You might not be in movies, but hey, let's face it. Don't deny it. You know you want to do it. And hey, you might not get to do it, but whatever. That's the DVIT coming out in me, by the way. And yeah, I'm a bit like that. So guys, let's look after that prostate. And basically, I had my prostate removed. Also, there are downsides to that because your prostate is also connected to the nerves that make you hard, erect, give you a hard on, okay? And there are two nerves connected to that. So I said to the doctor that was doing the operation, I had the best specialist in all of Australia. And I mean, he was so good that he had people from overseas, like as his clients or patients. Like I said earlier in this video, there was a young man in the next room to me from America seeing this doctor. I won't say his name on here because I'm not a specialist. I can't recommend him. Well, I should recommend him, but if you want to know his name, you can always get in touch with me through my Instagram, which is Beautiful Tiffany May, sort of like beautiful _ Tiffany _ May. You can contact me there and I'll let you know. I don't know if he's still practicing or not, but anyway, he's basically was recognised as the best prostate surgeon in the world in this time, and we're talking 14 years ago, so whether he's still practicing or not, I don't know. And that's something that you guys might like to research. I haven't researched it, but anyway. So what happened after that was I had my prostate removed. Doctor said I had 2 tumours growing up on the inside of my prostate, ready to burst through and eat me from the inside out. So I was lucky. I was borderline stage 3 prostate cancer. So I was lucky it was found when it was, purely by chance from a blood test originally. So hey, go and get a blood test, and if something can be done about it and you're showing some symptoms that can be done about it without an operation, it can be done. Because as I wanted to say to you guys, is 2 nerves connected to your prostate, which give you a hard on, okay? They take that away and those nerves are traumatized. There's a good chance that you will never get a hard on ever again. Or they might save one nerve and it might happen. Okay, I was lucky. Hello, is anyone out there? No. No one's come to visit me. So, yep. The 2 nerves, sorry, I'm just checking. I thought I heard someone. There's 2 nerves connected to your prostate which give you a hard on. It's all connected. I don't know how. If you want to research all that, we'll go right ahead. I can only just tell you of my experiences. I had my 2 nerves saved because the first thing I asked the doctor when I come to, and he come in to see me, like the actual surgeon that operated on me, I said, did you save the 2 nerves, doc? He said, yeah, I did. I said, oh, thank God for that. He said, but don't expect anything to work for at least 12 months because they are traumatized and they need to repair themselves. So he said, if nothing happens downstairs, don't fret, don't worry about it. it will all eventually start working again. He said, but you still will not blow, nothing will come out. Which is a little bit upsetting, but hey, it's better than being dead. You know, like, hey, here's proof. I'm not dead, and I am now turning 56 this year. I think I said, I don't know. I don't care, 55, 56, 57, who cares? But yeah, that's I'm 55, I think. Yes, that's it. Whatever. Born 1964, you do the maths. But I could have been dead in the ground for the last 5 years, 4 years, whatever. But I'm not. I'm here to tell the story, and guys, believe me, have the check, get a blood test at the very least, and that's all you have to worry about. For those who are a little bit homophobic, if you're homophobic, you probably wouldn't be on this channel, but anyway, here you are. If I can save a life just from you guys listening to this, well, my job is done. Fast forward 12 months after, fast forward 6 months after my operation, things started happening downstairs because I'm such a horny bugger, believe me, and this is way before Tiffany was ever born, back in my boy days, if you want to call it boy. Well, I was 41, back in my male days. Things started happening again, and I was getting half excited downstairs, if you get what I mean. And I still had the same, even when I got to that point of orgasm, I still had the same feeling as if I've blown a load. Nothing comes out though. Bit of dribble, bit of squirt has started to come out now a lot, and when I orgasm, and I still have the exact same feeling. So don't fret about that either. You will still get the same feeling as long as those two nerves are saved, I guess. If they're not, well, it might be a whole another story. I can't talk about that because that never happened to me, but there might be other people out there that it has, and they can tell you about that if you're interested. I don't know anyone personally that has happened to or been through, but I'm sure there's plenty of people around that has happened to, and nothing happens. It's pretty much all dead down there, and it may as well not exist. But what the individual person decides to do with that is purely their choice and how they want to deal with it. This is my way of dealing with it, I guess. I'm not saying this will happen to you, but having prostate cancer is no way of me becoming who I am. It's just something that has been trapped inside me all my life. I've just been too scared to come forward. Being Tiffany now, at this age, but I guess modern technology, the internet, all that sort of thing never existed back then, and I knew nothing about it, and used to wonder why I felt the way I did, and now I know. And it's really hard to come out to a lot of people, and there's still a lot of people in my life that have no idea this is who I am, and it breaks my heart because I know they just will not understand. But as long as I am happy, I think people should be happy for me. So anyway, that's my take on how to save a life and how I can save your life. Or even, hey, girls out there that might be watching this, talk to your boyfriends about it, talk to your partner, talk to your brother, whatever, any males in your life that are around the age of, even 25 upwards. Just get a blood test every 5 years, and believe me, that is important. Not just one blood test and go, oh, there's nothing wrong with me at 25. 10 years down the track, something may happen. So if you get a regular blood test, and it's called a PSA something or other test, anyway, the doctors will know. You just say, please check my blood levels for prostate cancer, and that's all you need to do. If nothing comes back that's all normal, hey, just go about your day like any other day. But it would be better to know than to not know, and surprisingly get told when it's too late that you have stage 3 prostate cancer because you're too gutless to go and get a simple blood test and a needle in your arm, and that's all it is, believe me. Like I said earlier in the video, if there are signs of having prostate cancer and something can be done about it, wouldn't you rather just go through a little bit of uncomfortable poking around for like 5 minutes or less just to find out and survive, or totally ignore it and die in under 10 years? Yeah, say if you are, I don't know, 30 and you die at the age of 39, 40, like how shitty would that be? And leaving behind loved ones when you know you're too gutless to go and get a blood test. I know what I'd pick. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. Guys, girls, anyone in between. And all I can say is stay beautiful and be beautiful to everybody. Love yous. Bye.